People ask what builds a life. I'll tell you what built mine. Family. The real version, the kind that shows up when things are heavy. They steady you when life tries to pull you apart. And that's what this conversation is about. What it takes to hold, to rebuild, and to keep moving forward together.
That's Dali Yarbrough, author of A Night in Tucumcari, The Life of Dalio. That book just topped Amazon's bestseller list. He is here with us today, along with his wife, Jenna, daughter, Danica, and chosen family, Alexis and Luke. Welcome. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And a big congratulations on the book, #1 bestseller. That's so exciting.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, very, very good. So for people who may be new to this story, they haven't heard of it before, what's the heart of it?
I think it's a true rags and riches story. I mean, I grew up in poverty and dropped out of high school when I was 15 and was just trying to figure out how to get through life. And through a mysterious event that occurred in Tucumcari, New Mexico, I was shown a metaphorical mechanism within my mind that's almost like a Rubik's Cube in that it has 6 colors, six sides, and then I would eventually come to find out it had 6 dimensions. And through being able to use that mechanism, interacting with the way I do with life, it has catapulted me to a different level. It's helped me break a DNA cycle of poverty in a bloodline that's never seen success. I've seen that success, and it's allowed me to build generational wealth. And I think through that process, this book and this metaphorical cube has helped this book and this new chapter of my life become a #1 bestseller.
Yeah, and one of the main themes of this book is chosen family. We saw that in this clip, but why do you believe sometimes chosen family is just as important, sometimes maybe even more powerful than blood family?
So, like I said, I grew up in poverty in a family that didn't really know what connection was. And later in life, when I broke that DNA cycle and started building businesses in wealth, I realized that the blood family was only there if it was transactional. So through meeting some people in my life, such as Alexis and Luke, who was never promised anything, they stuck around, they were loyal, and they became chosen family, not out of need or necessity, but because they wanted to be there. And I've seen that with them, and they've been around us and supported us, even when times were tough for quite a few years now. And so I think that loyalty of not having the blood attachments, but still wanting to be there is why it's so much more important and powerful.
Yeah, and Alexis and Luke, you didn't start out expecting necessarily to become family, but you certainly did. So looking back, how has being a part of the Yarbrough family really shaped your life?
I think it's just really made you realize that you don't have to be blood related to become family. And as long as, you offer the same support and you give and you take and you don't expect, it's really easy for it all to work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Luke, he talked a lot about being that chosen family might be a little more important. You chose to stay and to stick around.
Yeah, it just kind of shows you, as he mentioned, the loyalty side of it. Friends are friends, and when it comes down to the end of it, family's more here to stay, and shows you what loyalty actually is, and sometimes friends don't. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jenna, you read the book for the first time once it was out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was that like? What was your reaction when you were seeing the story on those pages?
I was very impressed. I mean, he always tackles everything 110%. There's never a challenge that he's not willing to find a solution and tackle it. And so I was proud of him, and I knew it was going to be a success. So I was very happy for him.
Yeah, that had to have been, you said impressive, but really, to see this story kind of played out from his perspective about this was probably really special.
Yeah, it was. I was very proud of him. I mean, I knew he dug in really hard to get through there and made me wait until he was completely done with it before I actually got to read it. So.
Yes, you got to see it with everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. So Danica, your dad is a #1 best-selling author. What does that feel like for you?
I think it's great, but I still think it should have been a coloring book.
Yes, just started from there. Maybe you and he can share this story as a coloring book.
Yes. We'll collaborate on that.
Yeah, you can collaborate on that piece of it. Exactly. What is one thing that you really want when people read this book that you want them to take away from this story?
I want them to open their mind to each chapter and try to find the nuggets that I've left throughout the book so that they can utilize that to stand up in their own story, whatever that may be. And the next challenge, whether it be family, business, wealth, it could be anything really, but if they'll take an introspective look through into themselves through the pages of this book, I think they can get over whatever struggle or challenge they're dealing with at the time.
Would you recommend that everybody in the family read the book?
Apparently my daughter preferred it to be a coloring book, so she may not have read it yet. But yes, we've received feedback that everything from young teenagers to the elderly have really enjoyed digging into this and finding where they can utilize some of this stuff in the pages to help themselves. And it's been a overwhelmingly positive feedback.
Wonderful. How can people get a copy of the book?
Pretty much anywhere books are sold. Amazon, Barnes and Nobles are the two main ones that you can get a hold of the book. But you can also follow me on author Dalio on Instagram, Dalio on Facebook page. And the audiobook just came out July 4th while we were here visiting Tampa this weekend. It came out and it's on Audible.
Well, wonderful. Well, congratulations for all this success.
Thank
That's
you so
wonderful.
much.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank
It was
you.
good
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you
us.
all here today. Thank you.
Thank you.